Good morning, family. By now, we know that we've lost a giant of an individual. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was not perhaps a giant in physical stature, but she was a giant who operated with fortitude, who operated with courage, who operated with grit and tenacity. She exercised what the late Congressman John Lewis called consistent persistence. Consistent persistence. Many may not know that Ruth Bader Ginsburg was making changes and operating with consistent persistence long before 1993 when she was appointed to the Supreme Court by former President Bill Clinton. It was back in the 1970s when a young lawyer, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, was working for the ACLU's Women's Rights Project. And she was working to make sure that gender equity was taking place in these United States of America. See, many may not remember that back in the early 70s, women could not even get a credit card in their name. If you were married, you had to have your husband co-sign for you, or if you were single or widowed, you had to have a male relative co-sign or a male friend go with you to the bank and co-sign so you can get a credit card. How was this life-changing? How was it life-saving? It brings to mind a friend of mine who was married at a young age back in the 70s, and she had moved to Spain with her husband, and she was in a abusive relationship, a physically abusive relationship. Her life was threatened. Her mother, who was from the Boogie Down Bronx, got wind of what was happening and traveled to Spain to find out exactly what the real deal was. Learned that her daughter's life was in danger, took her daughter to the U.S. Embassy in Spain and got a passport and a ticket back to the United States. Those were the first two things that her mother did with the brand new credit card in her name. Imagine if she didn't have this credit card. Imagine if she were not able to travel and make sure that her daughter's life, which was in jeopardy, could be saved. Because of legislation enacted by Ruth Bader Ginsburg or fought for by Ruth Bader Ginsburg back in the early 70s, this woman's life was literally saved. And so many other lives, both men and women, regardless of where you fall on the political spectrum, conservative or progressive, lives have not only been changed, but lives have been saved. It has been said, according to Jewish tradition, that a person who dies on Rosh Hashanah, which began last Friday, a person who dies on Rosh Hashanah is a tzaddik, a person of great righteousness. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was and is a person of great righteousness. She joins all the other righteous ancestors who are now a great cloud of witnesses. She joins individuals like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Ella Baker. She joins Fannie Lou Hamer. She joins Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel. She joins Michael Schwerner and James Chaney and Andrew Goodman. She joins so many men and women who fought the good fight and whose lives are remembered as lives of righteousness. Today's sermon that you will hear is entitled Making Sense Out of a Crazy Praise. And certainly we live in crazy times today. We live in uncertain, crazy times. But through it all, we are going to praise God for the life of individuals like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who fought the good fight, who were on the battlefield for justice and righteousness. And so even though we are living in crazy times, we're going to have a crazy praise. We're going to continue to fight the good fight. We're going to stand in line and vote. We're going to cast ballots early. We're going to do what we can because of individuals like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who did not grow weary in their well-doing, but who continued until their very last breath to operate with dignity, to operate with courage, to fight the good fight, and to be consistently persistent so that we could have life today. May we continue to make sense out of these crazy times. And may God continue to give us the fortitude and to continue to give us the courage as we operate with consistent persistence. God bless you.